What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another weekly video. Thank you for clicking on, nope. Damn it! All right. I'm so excited that you could join us this week. Today we are talking about Dolly Parton and how she is a feminist icon. What did my voice just do? What was that? This week we are talking about Dolly Parton and what makes her a feminist icon and why that should be important to me and to you. Let's get into the video. All right, if you're new here, my name is Lucy Claire, and I'm so glad that you could join us. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button down below and hitting the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Like I said before, today we are talking about Dolly Parton and what makes her a feminist icon, so let's get into it. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the video, let me take you over to my record corner so that we can talk about the music history fun fact for this week. Let's go. The music history fun fact for this week is that Finland has the most metal bands per capita of any country in the world. They have roughly 53.5 metal bands for every 100,000 citizens. That's a lot of freaking metal bands. So maybe, if you're a headbanger, why don't you head on over to Finland, because you're gonna have a freaking blast. If you have a music history fun fact that you'd like to submit, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I might just include it in next week's video. All right, with the music history fun fact for this week taken care of, let's head over and learn about Dolly Parton, baby. All right, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of this video. What is the nitty-gritty of this video? First and foremost, I want to say that this video is mostly inspired by these two records right here. As you can see, Dolly Parton, the woman, the icon, the legend. These are two of many, hopefully, in the future. Hit me up, but those are the only two I have right now. Before we get into what makes Dolly Parton an icon, I want to lay the groundwork of what a feminist actually is. To lay a foundation, if you will. And I looked it up on the internet, and it's pretty broad. Literally, it just says someone who practices feminism, which, like, thanks. Feminism is the movement that works for political, economic, and social equality for the sexes. So that's a super broad category, right? And so there are a lot of different kinds of feminism that fit within that huge, huge category. Sadly, though, there are a lot of people that identify as anti-feminist, and because the category is so broad, that's a real bummer. A big swing and a miss.
If you're a feminist, you should like this video.
Facts. So now that you know kind of what the broad spectrum of feminism means, let's get into where Dolly fits into this big puzzle. I didn't actually know that Dolly Parton didn't recognize herself as a feminist until I was like a sophomore in high school, but she really shies away from the term. She never says directly that she's a feminist, but from a lot of her work, you would never guess that. Now, I'm not gonna propose to know why this is, because maybe it's a part of her background, maybe it's her continued interest in kind of keeping her brand together. She is a woman in country music, so that presents a lot of different connotations for what feminism means. But I do want to talk about 3 different ways that Dolly presents herself as a feminist icon without ever actually having to say it. So let's get into those. The first way that Dolly Parton is a feminist is in her look. Now, I know that that's like the most famous part of Dolly Parton is her look. First of all, I want to say that any way that a woman looks is already the way a woman is. So in that way, Dolly Parton is always being a feminist. Her depiction of what a woman looks like is naturally feminist. She's pushing the boundaries of what you and I would consider to be the way a woman looks. So she's already doing work that tons of people out there aren't doing. She's also constantly making the point that femininity can totally be feminist. I mean, the things that we know Dolly for, like her hair and her crazy outfits, her makeup, all of these things set Dolly apart from the rest. You can wear high heels up to the sky and a face full of makeup and a tight dress and still be fighting for economic, political, and social equality of women. You totally can. She walks the line of empowering but approachable, and that's truly Dolly Parton. I mean, I literally have Dolly Parton's haircut. I literally went to my hairstylist and was like, make me look like that. So obviously she has an effect. The second way that Dolly Parton totally convinces me that she's a feminist is by her music. Her music is meant to reach every audience. I mean, I think there's like a billion Dolly quotes where she's just talking about how she works to be approachable to an entire industry. Her first song was Dumb Blonde, and I mean, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, she's literally saying, I'm a dumb blonde, but this dumb blonde ain't nobody's fool, right? This dumb blonde ain't nobody's fool. Pretty much a feminist anthem. So don't tell me that Dolly doesn't know that she's a feminist icon. Her song Coat of Many Colors, which is apparently her personal anthem, is all about how Dolly came to terms and empowered herself. I also just want to point out that there's literally an entire musical about empowerment of women in the workplace that's literally inspired by Dolly, and the songs are written by Dolly, and what more of a sign do you need, honestly? The third part of Dolly that convinces me that she completely knows that she's a feminist is the way that she handles her brand. We all recognize Dolly as a famous songwriter and a famous singer, but we don't give her enough credit for being such a badass CEO. Not only does she have an empire of like 3,000 songs that she's written, and yes, I'm not speaking out of turn, she literally has written 3,000 songs. She has business deals, heads up her own children's charity, and let's not even get started talking about Dollywood. The woman literally has an entire theme park. The most feminist icon thing that Dolly does by far is she owns her stereotypes in order to disarm her critics. We all constantly think about our own insecurities, but Dolly is the first one to point out what everyone in the room is thinking about her. She talks about her looks and her nails and her hair and everyone's opinions on her. And she does that on talk shows and on TV shows. It's kind of astounding to me that she won't take the title of feminist after she does all these amazing things for feminism. So now that you know the 3 ways that I think Dolly Parton is a feminist icon, I want to talk about why that should be important to me and you. She continues to show up for things like her charity and her foundation. She continues to show up for the entertainment industry. I mean, recently, she just released a movie called Dumplin' that is so good. I totally recommend you watch it. But it's so empowering to people that are plus sized and to girls that are not comfortable with themselves. I mean, Dolly really puts herself out there for all of us. And that's why I think it's so important. Dolly shows us that feminism can be called by so many different names and mean so many different things to so many women. She shows that femininity takes on different forms and that we should be totally okay with that. Dolly Parton shows us on a daily that fighting for equality for women doesn't mean that you have to be out shouting on a corner somewhere. You can be doing it just by showing up for feminism every single day. If anything, Dolly shows us that feminism can morph and change over time. She shows you that whatever way that you look and which you present your feminism is all right. And when I say that Dolly handles her stereotypes, her most famous quote is that it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. Tell me about self-actualization, okay? So don't let me just sit here and lecture you about why Dolly Parton is a feminist icon. You should go out and look at Dolly's content and kind of decide for yourself what you think. There is plenty of content out there. She puts out new music. Go listen to her music. For all my vinyl junkies out there, collect her records like crazy. Keep on supporting her because she is doing amazing things for the world that me and you should care about. I'm gonna put a link in the description to Dolly Parton's charity, which sends out millions of books every year to children that can't afford books so that kids in underserved areas can learn how to read, because I think it's so important that Dolly Parton is doing so much work for not only women, but also the children of our next generations. She is constantly fighting in a genre that is full of men to make her place known, and boy, has she. That's all I have to say about that. All right, thank you for watching till the end of the video. I really appreciate you taking that time to watch. Please don't forget to give this video a like because that really helps me out. And also, don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm really trying to grow this channel so that we can get a huge community of music history and vinyl records lovers all together. Also, please head over to my Instagram or my Facebook, both Lucy and Lo-Fi. I would love to have you there. I post new content all the time about vinyl records and music history. We would love to have you there, so please head over. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.